Andrew, and thanks to you for that fantastic poem that Adrian wrote, and what a great poet and a great man Adrian Mitchell was all his life, fighting for justice, for peace, the people of Chile and so many other places. Because today, here in Whitehall, thousands and thousands of us are demonstrating against public spending cuts. In exactly the same way that for the past 30 years, those that have been victims of International Monetary Fund policies all over Africa, Latin America and South Asia have demonstrated against the crazy philosophy that you cut public spending, privatise services, increase the gap between the rich and the poor, and somehow or other you're all working together to make for a better society. What the IMF have done to the southern countries for the past 3 decades is now being done in Europe, to Greece, to Spain, to Portugal, to Ireland, to France, and now today here in Britain. Today I was in Parliament when George Osborne made his seemingly endless statement, very cleverly presented and very cleverly crafted. And the Tory and Liberal MPs all cheered and waved and said what a wonderful statement it was, because of some of the things he hadn't cut. What he didn't say was that 1 million people lose their jobs as a result of what he said today. And I work it out that if 1 million people lose their jobs and are not paying taxes because they're unemployed and are therefore entitled to claim whatever benefits remain because they're unemployed, it costs us all more to keep people doing nothing and to deny a whole generation of young people the opportunities, the school, the universities, the colleges and everything else that they want. And when he says that we're all in this together, I look at my borough, I look at my constituency, I look at my community. I know, you know, he knows the biggest issue facing people in inner London and indeed other big cities is the shortage of council housing and the overcrowding that is in current housing. What also is a problem is the massive rents being charged by private landlords that are paid by housing benefits. The way to address this problem is not to cut the housing benefit, it's to control the private sector rents. The way to bring about fairness isn't to say to every new council tenant, in the case of my borough, you'll pay double the rent of your next door neighbour. In the case of all of us, for a new tenant, you'll get your tenancy rights reviewed after a few years, unlike those who at an arbitrary date got their tenancy beforehand. I want housing as a right. I want council housing for life. And I'll just finish with this simple message. We are thousands, we are many, we are causes of multiple numbers. We're here to defend culture, we're here to defend art, we're here to defend health, we're here to defend education, we're here to defend an awful lot of things. We are going to get a barrage of propaganda over the next year, 2 years, 3 years, just like they've had in Italy, just like in the United States, that the public sector cannot provide. You provide for yourself through private insurance. That leads to a yawning gap between the rich and the poor, and it leads to a dispirited, nasty, divided and security conscious society. We are here to make the argument that a decent, civilized society taxes those who are rich enough to pay, to provide resources and services for everybody on the principle of universal health, universal benefits and a universally decent society. That is what, my friends, our coalition is about. Join every campaign, Fight all the cuts, except those in the armed forces, where we want to see a few more cuts taking place and no more nuclear weapons. But above all, unite together to defeat the crazy philosophy behind the idea of the cuts. Unite for a decent society, for universal care, for universal benefits. That is what our simple message is of civilization. Thank you very much.